This song is about Changuluta, the Red Road. And the words to this song is a very simple song, you know. I heard this song and it really interests me, you know, because how they put the words in, you know. And when we walk the red road, you know, some of us think the red road is hard, very hard. But it all depends how you make a red road, whether it's you make it wide or narrow, you know. But to me, I walk the red road, and it's a good red road. I love the red road, you know. It changed me, and it brings me many good things in life, you know. So when I hear this song, you know, this song, it really interests me, you know. And I always give wopila, like every day, every evening, and prayers. But anyway, this words to this song is, I'm walking on the red road. Grandfather, I thank you. I pray to you with this chanupa. Grandfather, thank you. And those words, you know, those words itself, it really, like it put a spiritual awakening in those words like that.
Our first official year of organizing, the Chunkaluta Network filled up a moving truck full of pallets, water barrels, blankets, clothes, and anything else we could fit before heading out from Michigan to Nebraska. Originally in Nebraska, we had 2 stops scheduled. One due to an organizer's efforts to collect wood in October that needed to be picked up. The other stop came about after Shungmanitu's cousin Kaci set about collecting winter clothes, boots, and anything else she was asked of by Vanessa and Alfred Swallow. While there, Shungmanitu's aunt Lisa added 2 more stops in Lincoln on their way north from Auburn, Nebraska to Pine Ridge Reservation.
Shungmanitu, tell us about how much wood we got.
We got a shit ton.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fried bread is amazing. She made it for the first time and I was like, oh my god.
I didn't grow up
best
making
thing
it,
ever.
you know. It's,
I didn't give you my recipe, did I?
no.
No, okay.
I found one online and
Yeah.
it leaves some to be desired.
Kaci came to her first Sundance in the summer of 2023. There, like every other organizer that came the same year, she saw community in her own eyes for the first time in a way she had never seen before. With open arms and open heart, Kaci fed us. She sent us with enough food to last us on our drive, and we were able to feed the vegan plenty of food in South Dakota. She's also helping secure funding for the overall distribution center, and most importantly, the industrial kitchen and food truck.
Hello, I'm Kaci Jones, and I am Lakota, Oglala, and very new to understanding all of the stuff about the tribe. Just went to Sundance for the first time this past summer. Do you mind if I eat while we're...
By all means. I mean, I'm sure everybody would like to see you cut into that. It looks delicious.
Delish. Yeah, you should try a bite.
No, I will gladly. But,
And
you know, I guess, you know, what do you do here? Obviously, I know, but...
we just took a bite at the same time.
No, yeah, this is like a perfect moment where, like, the waitress asks you, how's the food?
Really good.
Very good.
So-
I made it myself.
So we both own this place. It's called Un-Resen Creatives. And we started it based on we are a duo musically, and we call ourselves Un-Resen. the origination of our name is a phenom is a young person who's extremely talented at something.
Right.
Well, she and I didn't have the, like growing up, we didn't have a lot of the support that we needed in order to flourish in our talents. And so as we got older and into adulthood, we started doing those things anyway. And so it was kind of the concept of now we're rising and we want to bring that back to the youth of this area. And so that's basically what we're doing now and we added creatives to the name because there's a lot of different things that happen here.
Right.
We have a piano teacher, guitar.
Well, I noticed in the back, I was like,
yeah.
Do you use that?
Yep, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we have 2 guitar teachers. Chloe is actually one of them.
Okay.
And then piano, art. I teach culinary arts also and baking for beginners. And we also have an artfully abled class, which is for the differently abled and for those with disabilities. And they come every Friday and do either crafts or some sort of like baking element. So they really enjoy that too. And I have about 9 private students. I teach on Zoom also, so I have a student that's in San Francisco. I have a couple that meet with me.
So like
sometimes.
theoretically, we could send people your way.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, I love to teach. That's actually how I started teaching, was on Zoom.
Wow.
Yeah. And I really hit the teaching hard when COVID happened because I had to adapt. And then my students just kind of stayed with me when I moved, and everybody went on Zoom. And then when I got here, I started working with some of the local youth. So that's my role here. And I guess if you call it executive chef, like, I mean, we started this with 0 money. Like we started with just one good catering gig, and we ended up just having enough money to get the down payment or the deposit. And then rent for 1 month and utility deposits. And then we filled the kitchen for 1 week. And that's all the money we had. We were broke. And then so we were just like, okay, we're going to try this.
Pop-up restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. We drove by, and I love this building. I grew up in this area, so my grandparents lived a block away. I spent so much time in this building when I was little because it was an ice cream shop called Dairy Chef.
Oh, Dairy Chef.
Yeah.
Okay, he said Dairy Queen.
Well, there was a Dairy Queen. I think it was Dairy Queen, then Dairy Chef, because they couldn't use the name anymore. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's actually how it
We'll keep
happened.
half the sign.
Right. So yeah, there was like a Pac-Man machine back there and like a Burger Time machine and all this stuff. It was like all this stuff when I was young, and then I spent all my time here. This room actually was the kitchen, and that was the dish room. So that right now is just my kitchen, and this is the dining area. So yeah, it's really interesting. I knew when I was in here, I could feel it, and I could see all the things happening, and I could see where it could happen, it could go, because we have a space back there for the studio, and she'll tell you about that in a minute. But and then we had the middle room where I thought, the guitars and like all of the instruments and all this stuff could go, and then just enough to utilize this for a space for the dining area.
Yeah, that seems perfect.
So I was like, let's do it, and she's like, we can't afford that. I'm like, I know. But here we are. We're 3 months later. And we're finally starting to do really good, but that's also why we don't have a sign yet.
Well, yeah, he's like, well, what are we looking for? I don't think there's a sign.
No, there's not a sign yet. We're just kind of trying to do what we can in order to put the money back in, still pay our bills. Still really just kind of scrunching by, but we're making it work, and our reputation has really, I guess, it's really spreading. We have most of our customers are word of mouth. We also, I got my wholesale license also.
What do I do here? Well, I'm part owner, so I cook. I help her come up with recipes. I'm also a musician. I'm a rapper, producer. And I also teach music production, but nobody's signed up yet, so I'm just waiting.
The first photo you'll see is from when we stopped in Omaha, and organizers unfortunately were unable to meet us, but we still loaded an entire tree into the U-Haul. Next is my ugly mug with a full load from Auburn, right before we headed out to Lincoln, Nebraska. In between Lincoln and Pine Ridge, a thick freezing fog rolled in and prevented us from seeing 10 feet in front of the car. At one point, we were even convinced the taillights of a truck only 40 feet in front of us were 2 separate cars pulled off to either side of the road. By this point, our blood was more Red Bull than iron, so we continued forward, being tricked by every res car, believing it was a motorcycle driving in under 10-degree weather. When we arrived, 3 uncles and 4 nephews ran out to begin unloading the truck. It was too dark to film the unloading, and because of the excitement of everybody and the terror the cameraman and I had as we arrived made it hard to remember to film the actual unloading process. So please enjoy this dark footage from the sunset right before we left on the second day. We filled the living room and the kitchen, and unfortunately, by the time we arrived the next day, all of the stuff had practically been distributed and sent out to other districts to be distributed. So, due to the efficiency, we were unable to actually get footage. Unfortunately, we had planned to do several interviews while we were there, but our time was consumed by important meetings regarding the organizing efforts and the proper way to go about building the distribution center on the land. While talking to the Ochete-Sakowin Treaty Council headsman, David Swallow Jr., we were asked to help build a sawmill on the campus of the distribution center. We were asked to enable the communities to drill for their own aquifer wells to bypass the Mini-Wachoni water pipeline. We were asked to help build and teach the people how to garden, which we will now be sending a permaculture expert in March, along with their partners and friends in a caravan to do so. We were also asked to help produce passports and IDs for the Ochete-Sakowin Nation. This involves procuring the technology and learning and teaching them how to produce these documents for a legal national distribution. Passports and IDs are a basic form of administrative function of any state, and it is no wonder why the Ochete-Sakowin is seeking these capabilities. Along with the sawmill, ID, and gardens, we have been asked to obtain computers to make the administration of the nation much easier. Beyond that, we were able to inform the headsman of our plans to bring jobs to the community via Exchange Avenue and our partnership with the nation of Hawaii via nation-to-nation treaty, and learned this spring the headsman plans to demand the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the Indian Reorganization Act government, commonly called the Tribal Council, end operations. The following shows the caving-in roof that is leaking of our organizers on Porcupine, who house 15 people. Here is where the kids sleep and what's left of the donations that hadn't yet been distributed when we arrived in the morning. Also, here's a box of heirloom and perennial seeds to supply Vanessa and our permaculture experts with seeds to start the growing season of native plants to the area, as well as seeds supplied by the Native Seed Keepers Alliance. We always have a lot going on, and I recommend you keep your eye out to see what we're up to. Already this year we've provided about 2 homes for people, and are on our way to provide a third after we've saved one for being foreclosed on due to failure to pay taxes on time, as they were relying on their tax return to pay them. So we're asking for people's help with that effort, and we're asking for people's help with more wood, more water, and more food to supply the 10 households in Porcupine we currently are supporting. We hope to expand this number, and we hope to reach out with people doing the same thing in the community to grow our capabilities. Be sure to check out our Patreon and LibrePay to support us monthly if you like what we're doing. Our goal is to earn enough to provide $500 stipends for people like Alfred and Vanessa, and organizers, frankly, across the world we hope to support in their efforts to decolonize and liberate their people. We think these are worthwhile efforts you should learn about and support. And please share to your friends and families. This is a great way to get them involved and politically engaged. So pay attention and watch out for part 2 to hear more about our recent trip.
Good fishing bag.